Hello friends, welcome to today's video. I do not have any makeup on today because we are going to be talking about a skincare product, specifically this sunscreen. This is the Ordinary Sun Care Mineral UV Filters SPF 30 with antioxidants. I have been playing with this and using it in a number of different ways for about 3 weeks now, I want to say, and I have some definite thoughts and pros and cons on this sunscreen. So the format of this video is going to be that I'm going to tell you a little bit about this product. I usually talk a bit about the company, but I've done a number of videos previously on The Ordinary, so I will link those videos down below if you're interested in hearing a bit more about The Ordinary as a company. I am then going to apply this so I can sort of show you what I have been experiencing with it, and then tell you my reviews and my pros and cons and whether this is the right product for you at the end of this video. So if there's a certain part you want to watch, I will put time marks, timestamps down below in the description bar. I do have to say, for somebody with freckles and fair skin who burns like crazy, I have only recently really started understanding very much about sunscreen and skincare related to what sunscreen actually does. I have always gone and bought the highest SPF that I could. I do know that people say after a certain point, whether that's 30 or 50 SPF, that there's a really negligible difference, but I always figure even if it's negligible, I'll just go for the highest level that there is. But also, I have always bought the kind of sunscreen you put all over your body and also use that on my face. So really what I've often been doing is only wearing sunscreen in the summer, in like really hot days when I know I'm going to be outside, like, oh, it's a sunny day and I'm going for a walk, let me put a bunch of sunscreen all over. Now, to be fair, the moisturizer that I use does have SPF 15 in it. However, I do know that these kinds of products, having SPF in your moisturizer, in your foundation, in your powders, in your makeup, while that's all wonderful, it generally doesn't have the amount of SPF, and you don't put enough of this on and in the right areas to really get sun protection from it. So in this year, as I have turned 40, I thought it was the right time to start finding a really good sunscreen specifically for my face, neck, and chest to work into my routine every day, winter, summer, cloudy, sunny, no matter what I'm doing, so that I always have a baseline level of sun protection. There are many people and videos and resources that are out there that are much more informed than I am about sun care, but just in case this is also brand new to you, I'll just break down a little bit of what I know. There are two kinds of ultraviolet light from the sun that will affect and harm your skin. There is UVA and UVB. UVB rays penetrate mostly the surface level of your skin. That is what's going to give you a sun burn. That is also what leads to some skin cancers, and that is sort of the immediate effects. UVA rays penetrate a little deeper into the skin, and that is what's going to cause like wrinkles, damage related to aging and the sun. So you really do want to protect against both of them. The SPF level in sunscreens sort of correlates to how long out in the sun you can stay as opposed to normal with the number. So an SPF 15, you would be able to stay out 15 times longer than without an SPF before getting a burn. I tend to burn in the sun after an hour or two, no matter what level of SPF I'm wearing, so I do have to reapply a lot. In other countries, like in Korean skincare, there's some different things like PA+, and I'm not too sure about those. There's also, you know, broad spectrum protection is UVA and UVB, but I'm not an expert on this. There are also sort of two ways of doing skin protection. There is physical or mineral sunscreen, which has titanium dioxide or zinc oxide, dioxide or oxide, one of those two, sorry about this, that you put on, and it really tends to give you that white cast, but it actually reflects and doesn't let any of the UVA or UVB sink into your skin. And that kind sort of just reflects everything, whereas there are also chemical sunscreens, which is more the avibenzone and a few other chemicals in there that don't give you a white cast, that more sink into your skin, and they sort of absorb the rays coming in and disperse them. Those are the ones that also tend to like sting your eyes a little bit more and maybe irritate the skin a little bit more, or can potentially irritate the skin a little bit more. And they also, I don't think, if I understand properly, are quite as effective against UVA rays. As I said, I'm not an expert, but this is sort of the information that I'm coming from. With all of that being said, let's talk about the sunscreen we're talking about today. This does have mineral or physical sunblock in it. So if I go down here to the active ingredients, there is zinc oxide and titanium dioxide in here. There are two versions of this right now. There is an SPF 30, which is the one that I have, as well as an SPF 15. As I said, I always go for the higher SPF. And if you buy this, you are going to get 50 milliliters or 1.7 fluid ounces, and it's going to cost you $9.70 Canadian. In describing this product, they say that the Ordinary's range of mineral UV filters formulas offers SPF protection along with antioxidant, hydration, and anti-irritant support. The mineral UV filter formulas avoid the use of any nanoparticles. Instead, a refined dispersion of microionized zinc oxide and titanium dioxide in a flexible, high-volatility, non-comedogenic silicones allows the formulation to remain extremely lightweight by optimizing the amount of the blocking agents. Our formulation uses mainly zinc oxide for its protective effects because in addition to reflecting/refracting light, zinc oxide is actually able to absorb UV rays without creating oxygen radicals, and the supporting titanium dioxide that it contains is only in rutile form, no anatase form of titanium dioxide is used at all since it's an aggressive producer of free radicals. They do tell you a lot of scientific information about these products in the descriptions. The other ingredients that are in here includes a bioactive antioxidant network, a potent combination that scavenges and neutralizes free radicals, minimizes the intensity of UV radiation penetrating the skin, visibly protects biological membranes, and supports the skin response to UV exposure. There is a biosugar complex, a unique blend of hygroscopic molecules with multi-layer coverage, providing both short and long-term hydration, and also naturally increases skin's own capacity to hold water. Skin identical lipids that visibly restore the compromised barrier and prevents transepidermal water loss. There is Tasmanian pepperberry, which is rich in flavonoids, anthocyanins, and minerals. This active technology helps to calm stressed skin, acting almost immediately. And they do say to apply this to face liberally and evenly 15 to 20 minutes before UV exposure. And if it continues the exposure to UV, to reapply at least every 2 hours or after water exposure, towel drying, sweating. And they do say to, check with your doctor if you want to use it on children. And then they give you the whole rundown of ingredients. So the long and short of it is that it is a physical/mineral sunscreen that also have a lot of ingredients in here that are supposed to minimize free radicals, increase hydration to your skin, and just have some nice skin calming effects. So, having said that, let me apply the sunscreen. I'm just going to tie my hair back here so that I can also get my ears when I do this. And although it is May 1st and I am continuing with my ongoing protect myself from the sun quest that I'm on, we're supposed to get 2 centimeters of snow here in Ottawa, so it doesn't quite feel like spring/summer yet. So I hear all kinds of different information about how much sunscreen you should be using to apply to your face, everything from a 1/4 teaspoon up to a teaspoon. I prefer to err on the side of more, especially because I want to cover my face, my ears, my neck, and my chest. My chest is the worst for burning, and I always tend to be a little red there, so the more that I can minimize getting any additional sun exposure, the better. So I'll just put some of this out. I'm going to use about that much, which is maybe a little less than a teaspoon. It's a fair amount, and it sort of comes out very white with sort of a gray cast to it. And then begin applying. It has an interesting scent to it. I have to say I'm a person who absolutely adores the scent of like regular copper tone sunscreen. This smells like flour. Like if you're somebody who bakes a lot, this smells like flour. So you are probably going to see when I start to rub this in, one of the main things about this sunblock is it is very white. And not only does it give you a white cast, and don't worry, it does go down a bit, I look purple/blue. Oh, I want to get this close to my eyes. Especially the tips of the ears. That is a main place for skin cancers, and I do believe my grandfather and maybe grandmother on the side of the family that I mostly take after had skin cancer lesions taken off of the tips of their ears. I think it may have been my grandfather because his skin would have been exposed a bit more, having had short hair. There we go. I'll just take my hair down now, but I have applied it, and you can see I still look a little alien purpley blue. So let's get into my review of this sunblock. And I want to say there's a number of factors that I am judging sunblocks on for the ultimate one that I end up using for my face and chest as part of my everyday skincare routine. Number one is that it needs to work. And part of the issue there is that I'm not going to go out and expose myself in the sun just for the sake of testing a sunscreen. If a sunscreen is marketed as a sunscreen and it has an SPF of 30 or more, I have to believe that it's going to work and do its job as long as I do my job of putting on the right amount and covering everywhere to get it done. So although that's the most important thing, it's kind of the hardest to test. The second thing is going to be about how it works as a skincare ingredient. Does it irritate my skin? Does it make my skin break out? Does it have benefits for my skin? And also, does it sting? Does it burn? And I'm also going to loop into there sort of the ingredients that it uses, because the more that I've learned about skincare and sunscreen, the more I want it to have the ingredients that this has, which is the titanium dioxide, zinc oxide physical barrier, because it sounds like that is the best one to use to have the most protection and also the most protection from UVA rays. I will also say that because my regular moisturizer that I use has SPF 15 in it, but this is in chemical sunblock form. So this does have the avobenzone, oxasalate, homosalate, oxycrylene in there. I sort of feel like this layer underneath will help protect against anything that gets through this layer, and that the combination of them is really what I want. And the next step there is aesthetically, how is this? And lumped into that category of my review is how does it look on the skin? How does it play with my makeup? How does makeup apply over top of it? How much can I take this, or how much does it add to or detract from my makeup routine? Because it's very easy for me to slap a bunch of sunscreen on my face if it's the day I'm going out for a walk and don't want to wear makeup. But if I'm going to be wearing this every day and I want to also put a makeup look over top of it, how much is it going to benefit or detract from that? So let's talk about this one. And starting in that category of the skincare benefits of this, I think it does really well. It has the kind of sunscreen that I want in here, which is the physical sunscreen, and it sounds like good benefits for my skin, and it also does feel that way. This doesn't make my skin break out at all. It feels like I have a really good moisturizer on. The issue a little bit, maybe not issue, it feels tacky on the skin. Like right now there is a stick that is there, but it doesn't feel oily in any way. So if you're used to using things like Copper Tone and regular sunblock on your face, you know how oily that can feel. And I just took a look at the ones that I tend to use on my body, and they are the chemical sunscreen kind. And what you'll often find with those chemical sunscreens is they are oily, they are a little bit runny. I am always getting them in my eyes and they sting like crazy. So you're always washing your hands off afterwards to make sure that you're not going to accidentally touch your eyes. This doesn't do that. You saw how close I got it to my eyes there. This doesn't irritate my eyes in any way. I don't think that's exclusive to this particular brand. I think that's because of the kind of sunscreen that's being used in here, but it's really nice to be able to cover my face, not worry about stinging, not worry about my face breaking out, and in fact have some really nice moisturizing ingredients in there. However, while it's nice that it's not oily, the tacky feeling does make it feel a little heavy. It describes this as being lightweight. I wouldn't say that. I would say this has a fairly heavy feeling because it's tackiness and it doesn't feel like it ever sinks into your skin. It's a layer that sits on top of your skin. So following up on that into our last category of aesthetics, it really fails in that category. I am a very pale person, and hopefully you can see as we sat here and talk through after application, the bluishness of it does die down a little bit, but this definitely keeps a white cast on your skin. I'm very pale, so that's not crazy, but from looking at other reviews and just my experience with it, if you are anybody with medium tone to deeper skin, you're going to look crazy, ashy, just white cast city with this on because it just has so much white cast and weird blue kind of undertones to it. It's probably not going to be for you unless you are spending a day like out on the water and you just care about sun blocking more than anything else. So the white cast is a problem. And then I was thinking, okay, well, maybe it's not going to be that much of a problem if I put makeup on over top of it. And I was hoping that that makeup would either apply really well because of the tackiness of this. I thought maybe it would be like a gripping primer, or just even powdering over top would take that grip down a little bit. And unfortunately, that doesn't happen. It just makes your makeup feel really heavy, especially areas up around my hairline and on my forehead, which I really need a lot of sun protection. It just made every foundation I tried with this with, and I think I tried it with 5 or 6 different foundations, everything from super lightweight foundation to like really heavy foundation or high coverage foundation, feel extra cakey and thick on my skin. No matter how little or how much and how lightweight, it just felt that way. I tried using smoothing primers between this layer and my foundation layer to take down some of that tackiness. It didn't matter. Even with powdering, I still got that tackiness stick on there and that really heavy feeling. So this really let me down where it came to using it with makeup, unfortunately, because as far as the skin benefits and the sun protection, I felt like it was doing really well. I also feel like, I mean, it told me how much I was getting before I ordered it, obviously, but this isn't gonna last super long. And you know, $9.70, that's a good price in Canadian dollars, but I feel like maybe there's other options out there that are a better value in terms of how much you get. So I am definitely going to keep using this. I'm going to use this on those days where it's a bright sunny day out and I'm going for a walk in the sun, or I'm at camp and I'm on the beach and I need sun protection. I'm not worried about wearing makeup or what my skin, you know, looks like in terms of white cast, because I think it's a really good sunblock and I think it's really good for my skin. And I like the fact that sweating and all of that isn't going to run it into my eyes. My eyes aren't going to sting. So this is going to stay in my collection as a outdoor, active, in the sunshine, really great sunscreen for my face on days where I'm not wearing makeup. But the hunt is going to continue for a really good sunscreen to work into my everyday skincare and makeup routine. That is my review. I got a little long-winded, I apologize, but I hope this was helpful for you. Let me know down below other suggestions of sunscreens to try. I have a few in mind, but I love getting your suggestions. If you've made it this far in the video, give this a thumbs up. Maybe share it. We're getting so close to 5,000 subscribers on this channel and it would be so fun to get there. Thank you so much, you guys, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye!